Welcome to the channel. This is Roger Thunder with the Ancient Soul Surfing Association. Going to do a little mini webinar today or seminar and talk about some techniques in surfing with the longboard in particular, and things like drop knee turns and taking off and getting up on your feet and getting out beyond the break when you're trying to get outside and stuff like that. And what I'll try to do is put some clips in that may be relevant to what I'm talking about, or if it isn't relevant, you can just enjoy the surfing aspect of it. But usually you can see in any kind of clip a application of some of the things I'm talking about, like yoga and the martial arts and stances and stuff like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, the first technique, is the drop knee turn. I like this turn, and it's used specifically or mainly on a longboard, although you can adapt it to a shorter board, but it's not as stylish. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's not functional, man. Well, I got news for you. It is functional. In fact, it's very dynamic, and it's not only is it functional, it's artistic and graceful and creative. So I'm going to go into the drop knee turn a little bit here, and in order to do that, I'm going to compare this, before I even go into that, I'm going to compare this. You hear me talk often about how yoga and the martial arts and that type of thing can be incorporated or is incorporated into surfing, whether people know it or not. So on the drop knee turn, let me just talk about this a minute. On the drop knee turn, you are actually incorporating a left horse stance in martial arts. First, let me show you, I guess it might be better to show you what a left horse stance is, and so I'll show you a picture. This is an illustration of a kung fu fighter, a martial arts fighter, in stances. Okay, and so on this stance in the middle here, on number 5, that's just a basic horse stance with hands, fists clenched at your side, elbows back. But you can transition, if you turn left, you transition into this, which is a left horse. Okay, and it shows him throwing a punch here, and you can see the position of his leg is slightly bent, almost straight. But in the martial arts, it's always good to have a bent leg. Now this applies to surfing as well. Let me show you now an application or a form of this on surfing, and I will show you a clip. And this clip is of a guy riding a longboard at some beach in Australia, I believe it is. I think the guy's name's Roy Cleve, I'm not sure. I got to get more sure on these things, but this is for illustration purposes, so I will play the video and I will try to stop the clip at the appropriate places when he makes the drop knee turn. Okay, here we go. Taking off on about an 8-foot wave, maybe. Trimming up on his longboard. Nice style. Nice smooth style. Oh, he made it, and I didn't even catch it. He'll do it again. Okay. Drop knee right there. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back and look at that. See if we can go back a bit here. There we go. You see this drop knee turn here? That is similar, or just almost exactly like, the left horse stance that I just showed you. Only the only difference is, is that this knee, instead of being straight, or this leg, instead of being straight back, is dropped down. So that's why it's called a drop knee turn. And you have to be very graceful with your balance on this, so it's not, As far as functionality goes, it has all kinds of functionality. It not only strengthens your legs, okay, but it also turns the surfboard very gracefully in a sweeping, smooth type arc. So I will continue on. See that drop? And when you drop that knee back like that, you're putting weight. You're shifting your center of gravity, you see. You're shifting your center of gravity in. See, he almost lost it there, so it does take extremely good balance to do this. Another one. Nice deep carve into the wave, cutting back. And so we'll end it there, I think. Let me go back to myself here. So that is an example of, let's say, the drop knee turn used on a longboard for making smooth, graceful turns. If you see the wave is building up in front of you, you trim up and you beat that section. It's called a section of a wave. But if you get too far ahead of the curve, in other words, you start getting out on the shoulder of the wave, that's when you do a nice smooth cutback, and that's when the drop knee turn comes into play. Very graceful, takes a lot of balance, takes a lot of strength, and the best way to strengthen yourself for this is to just practice the martial arts stance. You see if I can bring that up. Well, I'm still talking here. Practice the martial arts stance. The low horse, this strengthens the thigh and calf muscles. This is a wide stance. And there are stances that are a little bit, if you're having a hard time getting this low, you don't go that low. You just lower yourself a tad bit and do a little bit each day until you can stay for like 5 minutes, maybe, which would be very painful in this position. Breathing and doing your abdominal breathing, and then practice the left horse, and you can actually do the right horse too. The right horse stance. You can go back and forth, and instead of going this way, you go the other way. And this is the foundation for the drop knee turn on the surfboard. Now you see this guy's foot here, how it's positioned? When you do the drop knee turn, you come slightly up on your heel, and you use that heel here, or the toe and the heel. Depending on where you place your foot on that board, whether it's to one side of the stringer being the main piece of wood or that goes down the middle of the board, main piece of material, okay, sometimes it's other kinds of material, but if it's good, it's wood, all right? And you can position your foot to different sides on the drop knee turn so that the board will tilt, and what you're doing here is you're becoming one with the board. You're becoming one with the board, and you're using that board in conjunction with the swiveling. See the arrows here? The swiveling of the body. Okay. Even in kung fu martial arts, you have a swiveling and a turning to make a different approach to your opponent, or to dodge your opponent, or to blend with your opponent, whatever you're doing here. And so when you're on a wave, the wave is your opponent in a way, but it isn't, because you're attempting to blend with that energy, just like in Aikido or Aikido. So you've got this firm stance, and you're dropping your knee, and every time you drop your knee, every time, like I said before, every time you drop your knee down, it drops your center of gravity back, because you arch back. Your natural tendency is going to be to arch back a little, come back a little. It drops, it changes the center of gravity. That affects the board. The board is on a fluid mass. What better way to explain how to use a fluid mass and the energy of your chi and your body blending together to make a smooth ride, if you get my drift here, no pun intended. So I think that's kind of a good illustration as to how you can use the martial arts, okay, like Tai Chi and Kung Fu and things like that. You can incorporate that into your surfing, and it's all about balance too. It's a dance. It's like a dance. You shift your weight, and most of your maneuverability is going to come on a longboard with your knees always slightly bent and more, maybe your knees almost knock-kneed, like facing into one another, only parallel, so that you can use from the knees on down and the hips on down. You can use almost like a hula type motion, just like the hula girls do, swaying their hips. And when you do that, you're always changing the center of gravity, and the board is flowing with you. Okay, you establish a oneness with the board and the wave. So you got your energy being projected through the board and meeting up with the wave. It's almost like an intimate lover, almost like a relationship, all right? It has very primal sexual connotations in a way, which is beautiful because that's how the universe works. The ebb and flow of the yin and yang and the dark and light and the masculine and the feminine, the male and the female energies. So that's some pointers on, let's say, the drop knee turn. Now, I was thinking about some other things that I'll just talk about generally for new surfers or guys that aren't new, that even don't know some of this stuff. But you got to be pretty new not to know some of this stuff. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is paddling out. And actually your whole approach. Let's start with the whole approach. Your whole sacred approach to the ocean in the first place, how it should be. Now, maybe I'll just throw on at least a scene or a picture or a still or something here so that you can at least get the feeling of what I'm talking about. So your approach to the ocean should be very sacred, and I'll throw up this picture here. Still, it's a video, but I'm going to throw up this picture of a Wahine, a goddess woman surfer. But I want to talk to you about what your approach should be to the ocean, to Oceania, to Ala Moana, the path to the sea. This is the way I do it. Now I'm sure that there'll be times when you can't exactly do this ritual. And let's not forget, where did this come from? Where did this come from? Let me come back to you a minute. Where did this ancient sport, and I don't like calling it a sport, it's an ancient ritual, so that was a slip of the tongue. It has become a sport, which is, I have mixed feelings about. But let's look at where this originated in the ancient Polynesian islands, like 1000 BC, or even before then, 3000. Surfing has been going on a long time, and it was more like a ritual, and it was more like a reverence to the ocean and a respect for the ocean. So when you approach the ocean, you might consider the following. You might really practice mindfulness and being in the moment, number one. So when you slip your surfboard, your surf stick off the back of the car, or out of the back of the car, or off the roof racks, what are you thinking about when you do that? Are you thinking about, man, I just got to get out there, man, I got to get out there real quick, the waves are breaking and I got to get out, and you're in a hurry, and you just want to have some fun, and you've been going through life, maybe working, got off work, and you just want to get out in the waves? I get it. But here's the deal, if you really want to enjoy this thing, you'll incorporate meditation. Now here we go with the yoga part. This is the yoga part that I'm going to talk about now. I talked about the martial arts part. Now I'm going to talk about the yoga part. The yoga part is meditation. The yoga part is running of energy or feeling of energy and concentration of energy or focus of energy on a mantra or one thing, so that you can clear your mind of all your thoughts. So what you do is you make the ocean your mantra, you make the ocean your focus, you make Oceana the goddess, you attune to her. And how do you do that? Well, slip your board off the car, walk down to the beach, stick your surfboard in the sand and go into a lotus position, or just a SA squat down on your whatever. Sit on your ass and put your feet out in front of you, whatever you do just to relax, But whatever you do, try to keep your spine straight and breathe deeply, and get ready for an experience. And when you do this, close your eyes and listen to the sounds around you and feel the essence around you. And you're going to feel the ocean's essence, number one. You're going to smell the sea air. You're going to listen to the breaking of the waves and the white water rolling in. You're going to attune to it, is what you should do. And you're even going to hear all the surrounding things like seagulls and chirps and birds and all kinds of things, just to attune into the natural aspect of it. Sit there a while, breathe, take deep breaths, tune into all your senses, because you need all your senses for surfing. Tune into your sight and but if you got your eyes closed, you can't tune into the sight so much. But when your eyes are open, you can tune in a form of splatter vision, or widening the angle, the circumference, the field of view. There's techniques to do that are taught on this channel, called splatter vision. But also you want to tune into all your senses and just get into the feeling around you. The feeling that is around you. Tune into your senses, let go of the mind, let go of thoughts. Now after you do that for, let's say, 2 or 3 minutes is all it really takes, if you can attune to this stuff really fast, or 5 minutes, wade out into the water. Take your surfboard under your arm, throw it in the water, or set it down gently, even reverently would be nice. And smoothly move onto the board, and maybe straddle the board in an area of like small waves, calm water, just nothing, no pressure, not trying to paddle out yet, just floating around and getting the feel of the water, and getting a feel of the rhythm of the water, and getting the feel of the energy of the water. Okay, water is healing. Mini Wachoni, the Lakota say, water is life. Get in tune with that fluid mass, and get in tune with the whole thing. That should be your approach, and then slowly make your way outside in a reverent manner, feeling everything. And knowing that you're going to have union, or yoga. Yoga means union. Knowing that you're going to have union with the surf, the waves, the woman of the ocean. Because then that way, when you go in with that reverence, she knows that you're attuned to her, and she knows that you have reverence for her. So there's a protection in that. There's a definite protection from the spirits of the ocean. And believe me, there are thousands of spirits in the ocean. It's one of the least explored things on the planet. Okay, the ocean. There's depths that they haven't even gone to. In fact, there may even be colonies under the ocean, but that's a whole different thing. That kind of dovetails in with indigenous thought as well. So that should be your approach. Now, on a technical level, and maybe I'll just, well, I guess I'll talk about paddling out, rolling under. Let's talk about that for a minute. Next time I show a clip here, you'll notice that waves break, and as you're paddling out, there's certain techniques that make things a hell of a lot easier to get out there. Number one, the first thing is the sacred ritual that you just went through. You're in attunement with the ocean, so you know where the riptides are, you know when the waves, you know when a set of waves comes in, and when there's a lull in waves. And when there's a lull, if you have to wait for it, don't be in a big hurry. Just let the big waves come in and time it and know that there's a lull right now. But, you know, I mean, you always have to have your situational awareness up. So just use your common sense and your intuition and your timing and your attunement to go out when the waves are less ferocious or less intense, let's say. Now, when you make your way out, you're still going to run into waves, obviously, but they're not going to be as powerful. And if you do get a big wave, the way you do it is just roll under. If you got a longboard, you just turn over the board and roll under it. You don't need to cling with your feet all wrapped around it or anything. You could just hang loose underneath with your hands clamped as tight as possible on the board. And let the wave just, it's a flat surface when you roll over, except for the fin, which will cut through anything, and just let the wave roll right over you. It just rolls right over you and you come out the other side. Now, there's a thing called the duck dive that a lot of guys and girls use on shorter boards, where they push the nose of the board under the wave. Like a duck dives down, but the tail is going to be up on that one, so that's kind of a loser to me in a way. Short boards are losers in a way to me, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Don't want to alienate anybody here. Some shorter boards are nice for different things, you know. But I'm old school soul surfer, and I like the longboard because of a million different reasons, this being one of them. Because when you roll under that wave, the board, longer board, has weight. It's not light, okay? And you're pulling down on top of it, underneath it. But what I'm saying is, on top of the weight, you're pulling down, causing a pressure, almost pulling it beneath the water. And I don't recommend just pulling the nose down so that the tail goes up, because that's going to catch the water. So no, don't do that. Just lay flat underneath it and let it roll over you. No big deal. Then get back up on the board and paddle out. But again, like I say, if you time this, okay, to where you know what the seventh wave, the ninth wave, there's a lull, there's a rhythm to it. That's a whole thing about getting in attunement with the wave, so that's what you need to do on that score there. So what else do I want to talk about today? Well, let's not talk. Let me go to the video here, and I like this video. I think I've showed these clips before from time to time, and I have a million different clips, but I like to refer to some of these because they're done so well, and then there's a difference between me just showing the clip and with playing music and me actually getting down to the nitty-gritty and talking about techniques. So let's just, for a minute here, I've talked about, in previous videos, I've talked about getting up on the board, the longboard, how you make that maneuver up, how you go and incorporate the yoga movement of the cobra, and that movement where you raise up with you're supine on the surfboard. You know, it's like a push-up. You're just laying there and you push yourself up, but as you push yourself up, you arch your back because the bottom half of your body's still on the board. It's like a push-up with the first part of your body, right? and your head's on a swivel. You're looking each way as you do this. And then what you do is you cock back. I did a video called Cock Back and Pop Up. Previous video, you might want to check that out. Cocking back into a kneeling position with your ass on your heels and then springing forward and getting airbound as you move, as you spring forward, and then just landing on the surfboard like a cat with your feet planted. And then there's the bringing up slowly of one knee or another knee and kind of twisting into position. So in this video, there is some of that, and it's really hard to catch because it's done so quick and so gracefully. That's the beauty of it. So let me slip on this video here, and I'll take it back. Well, this is the start of it. So let me start this, and you can see what I'm talking about, or I'll try to stop it at certain points. She's just walking the board now. This is shot at Waikiki Beach. See how she's just now, you just missed it there. She was just getting up. It happened so fast. She's almost like in that drop knee position too here. So the knees are always bent. The knees are always bent. Let's go more. See how she gets up so gracefully there? That was really, really smooth. You might want to rewind the video and check that out. But for some reason, the photographers start after they're already up. See how that nice smooth move? Now she backed out. Okay, see how she just popped up there real smooth, real quick? I think she did the kind of like, I'd have to stop the video, but she did kind of like the, see, she's got one knee up first, right? She's got one knee up first. This woman here, this little mama here is all over the board. So that's kind of an example of see how she just rises up. They kind of missed that, but she came straight up. She came straight up on that one and just popped up like I said. And it's hard to catch that little cock and pop thing as you cock back on some of these because it happens so quickly, see? And that's the thing you want it to be, is just as quick as possible. You're up on your feet and in control of the board, you know. So yeah, again, this was taken at Waikiki. Lots of graceful, beautiful motion here. Lots of people having fun. Now she's just up, see, in a squat there. Now she gets up, right? See how she came up? See how that spring up? And now, ooh, all kinds of fun there. All kinds of fun. All right. Well, I'm right there with them, you know, when I'm watching this stuff. It's like, let's go out and surf. So anyway, this video's getting on there. It's getting a little bit longer. Let me talk about the Ancient Soul Surfing Association real quick here. Let me see if I can get to the right image. I will go to, that was the former image. Let's see here. There we go. Ancient Soul Surfing Association. Surfing yoga, riding the energy of Oceania. And you got this view here of, let me see if I can expand this here. Yeah, I'll get the right one here in a minute. Let's see here. Got several here we go. You got the ancient Polynesian drift here. You see that? You got the man and the woman, the masculine and feminine energy represents the yin and the yang, and the union and the yoga of surfing. Surfing yoga, riding the energy of Oceania. That's the name of this association. And if you want to join, you can really do it by getting an awesome T-shirt. We got some awesome T-shirts. I'm wearing one actually right now. Let me see if I can zoom in on this logo here. Here's the logo. All right. Ancient Soul Surfing, and then there's a big logo on the back. If you donate like 30, 35 bucks, we'll send the shirt to you and you become a member of the Ancient Soul Surfing Association, and there's benefits to that. There's seminars. It's a movement. It's a grassroots movement, and just the shirt is selling like hotcakes. And when I say selling, it's like, I should say they're donating. You get the shirt in black or brown in any size you want, and then you also get a membership card, and you get a place to go to fill out. You go to the website and you just enter your name and email, and there's a place in there for you to enter your address if you like, and then you'll start getting, when we get things rolling here a little bit more, you'll start getting newsletters, and you'll start getting information, let's say bulletins about events. This thing's just starting to get off the ground. If you're interested in this kind of thing, please do check that website below. And come back here. I'm planning on maybe starting a new YouTube channel besides the Red Road, which is about indigenous North American native tribes. But I also am incorporating the indigenous, because a lot of the tribes in North America came over from Polynesia in the first place. So there's a whole history to that. And there's a whole history to how some of these rituals and practices and, let's say, reverence for the planet, Mother Earth, Grandfather Sky, the spirits of the four directions, how that all can be incorporated into your surfing practice. So anyway, I hope I gave you some good tips today, and I may repeat some of these in future videos and talk about other tips and just the history of surfing in general. But for today, I guess I'll just leave it there and say Ala Moana, which means the path to the ocean, the path to the sea, Ala Moana. And I'll also say aho until I see you next time. It is good.